Dorothy Gale clicked her heels 3 times in the magical land of Oz and said, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like Kansas." Well, Kaydn Proctor didn't do that exactly. He wasn't in Oz. He was just in the transfer portal, but he is headed on home to Iowa to strap it up for the Hawkeyes in 2024. What does this mean for the future of Iowa football? Why is Proctor choosing to return to his home state rather than go to another major institution? And do we have hope that Iowa's offense is actually going to turn around? Why don't we go ahead and discuss? But if you are new here, welcome on into the channel, people. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. I get it. The clock struck zero on 2023. I'm sad. You're sad. But we have a ton of content to get through this offseason, and I'm here to keep you entertained. So if this is your daily dose of college football fix you need to survive, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below? Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on Kaydn Proctor's commitment to the Hawkeyes. Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, your best of bros, college football faithful, and Iowa fans especially. I love Kinnick Stadium. I love you people. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? Tell everybody about this channel. Go ahead and follow me on social media as well at Mr. Cole Thompson. That way, conversations surrounding our favorite sport never have to stop flowing. Kaydn Proctor going back to Iowa just feels like a perfect moment. It really does if you understand the story. So Proctor, throughout the entire recruiting process, one of the best offensive tackles, was always going to garner a lot of interest from every major institution. And for the most part, he was committed to Iowa. He was buying into what Kirk Ferentz was selling. He wanted to be a part of his home state. He wanted to be a part of something special for this program in the new era of the Big Ten. And he seemed like he was going to stay. And then at the 11th hour with 59 seconds on the clock, Nick Saban swoops in and says, "You're coming to Tuscaloosa." And he says, "Yes, sir. I'm going on Tuscaloosa." And so the entire thought process was very last second, things changed. He wants to go ahead and play for a national championship. He also, NIL funds, all of that probably is a factor, but he's not going to Iowa anymore. Well, now the pride, the 5-star, the future phenom at the NFL level is returning home. And so it's a good moment because it felt like throughout the entire recruiting process, a guy like Proctor was meant to be wearing the yellow and black. A guy like Proctor was meant to be playing at Kinnick Stadium. A guy like Proctor was meant to be the next big time name as part of the long luxury and lineage of college football players who have made it to the NFL while wearing the Hawkeyes logo. He just felt like that guy. And so now he gets to be that guy. Had his fun in Tuscaloosa, now comes back home and he gets to work with Kirk Ferentz. And he's going to work hard to be able to be that difference maker on the trenches on at the blind side. The thing is that when you look at this team, there's always going to be trepidation. There's no other way to put it. From Proctor's standpoint, he is going to be a staple. I think the minute he touches down back home, he will immediately be the number one offensive lineman in the room. He will set the tone in practice. He will be the physical enforcer on the outside. He is a plug-and-play left tackle. And there are going to be a slew of names that want to talk about what happened in the Rose Bowl or what happened early on in the season. He's a true freshman playing in the SEC against legit talent that will eventually be on Sundays. And he got better along the way. He's a true freshman. He's 18. You don't think that with a few more years of experience, more reps, and more opportunities for him to deliver the blow instead of catching the blow, he's going to be better off for it? I politely disagree with anybody who says otherwise. He is going to be strong, and he is going to be a staple and fixture in Iowa for years. And guess what? He eventually is going to find himself in the conversation alongside the other greats who came from the Hawkeye program. The question turns to, is this going to really fix the offense? No, it's not. Until you know what's going on behind closed doors when it comes to an offensive coordinator search, and until you see there actually be drastic changes to the personnel, it's the same thing. Now, here's the good news if you're Proctor. From an individual standpoint, you will get to be a part of your school, a school that you want to be at in your home state. You get to be a part of all the ambiance and the pageantry and the praise of what it means to be a part of the Hawkeyes. And there's a long track record of offensive linemen being successful making it to the NFL, whether it be Brandon Sheriff, whether it be Tristan Wirfs. The list goes on and on and on. Everyone knows Iowa produces at the position. But that doesn't mean you will produce results that eventually leads you to a college football playoff and beyond. The end goal for every team is to make it to the college football playoff. The end goal for every team is to hoist up a national title. And for a school like Iowa, they've always been in the running for a top 25 ranking. They've always been in the running for putting up quality production defensively, and that being their bread and butter that kind of paves the way for them to be 16th in the country or 9th in the country or 14th in the country. And they'll hang around there throughout the entire season, and they'll go 10-2 or they'll go 11-1 because the way their schedule worked, they didn't have to play against Michigan during the regular season or Ohio State during the regular season. And so everything's nice and peachy keen. Well, now no more divisions in the Big Ten. Now, no more opportunities for you to be able to utilize your defense where you beat up on Illinois and you beat up on Minnesota and you beat up on all the other programs that are not at your level, unlike on the East. It's just the 3 best teams, and 2 are going to Indianapolis. I can tell you right now, number 1 is going to be Ohio State next season. Number 2, I would say, is Oregon. Number 3 is Michigan. Number 4 is wide open. But it could be a variety of teams. Absolutely. Washington, if they get the right players to come in, they're going to hang around. USC, you at least got to put them, I think, somewhere in the top 6. UCLA, be very interested to see if they are able to land a guy like Julian Sang at quarterback. But Wisconsin, they made some moves this offseason. Are they trending upward going into year 2 of the Luke Fickell era? What about a program like Nebraska? Just added in Dylan Raiola, just had a very extensive search via the transfer portal for talent. What about a program like Illinois? Just a few years ago, we were talking about them being a team that maybe is over exceeding expectations, finished inside the top 25 of the AP poll. Northwestern, now David Braun is able to build his staff and his image, and when it was Fitz's staff, they went 8-5. So you can't promise anything anymore for Iowa, especially with what you know with this offensive personnel. If they go out and they're able to add in an offensive-minded coach to run the show, and the packaging, and the formations, and the formalities that eventually will differ from what you had with Brian Ferentz calling the shots, then you're in a good spot. And then it's easier to believe that Iowa is actually trending upward. But until that happens, and until you see change, and until you realize that there is going to be a lot of attention put on that side of the football, you're getting back Cade McNamara, you're getting back Eric All, you've added in some players over the last 2 years via the portal, though Proctor's really the first major guy you've landed this cycle, and in large part because you don't have an offensive coordinator. Even though you're getting all these players back, if the personnel isn't any different, the results are going to stay the same. And so I look at Kirk Ferentz right now, and I think that he is in a very difficult spot because if you have to adapt in this sport if you want to survive. Nick Saban, for years, has been able to learn the knowledge about what it means to adapt or die. He is a human crocodile. He literally does not know how to stop. He's always built for the moment. I think you could throw Mike Gundy in the conversation. I think you could throw Kyle Whittingham in that conversation. Can you throw Ferentz? You're about to find out. Landing a guy like Kaydn Proctor does wonders for your offense, and it does wonders for the protection of whoever you have at quarterback. Same thing with the running back room. Same thing with wide receivers getting open downfield because it opens up the opportunities for the quarterback to have time. Adding in a player like Proctor is a premier move, but premier moves only come with premier precision by the play calling. I know it's a lot of see, exactly. A lot of alliteration right there. Can you get that with Proctor? Can you get that with your offense? Can you get that with everyone? Landing Proctor is great. Landing Proctor absolutely is a move that needed to happen for a place like Iowa. And now they're going to benefit from it. But could you benefit more by also making sure you have the right offensive play caller? Whoever they hire as OC, they're in for a world of hurt if they don't get things in the ball rolling immediately. But I do like the move of bringing back Proctor. It's a feel-good moment. And sometimes you got to realize there is no place like home. Maybe that's the way Proctor felt when it came down to the decision. Do I go elsewhere or do I return to where I've always wanted to play? Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.